the wrestling thing, what we did is we would, once a year for 3 years, we put on an amateur wrestling event in the small town we grew up in.
In high school,
Texas.
we're like 16, 17, and 18 when we do this.
And we're putting on these wrestling events where really what we would do is we would build
a trash can wrestling ring.
Yeah, that's what
tires, plywood.
We would go to the used tire store and we would get all the used tires we could that were like no good anymore. That would be the spring. Then we would get particle board, which we actually paid for.
Well, no, year one was particle board. We upgraded to
regular plywood,
a semi-real ring by the end of it.
So the first year we got straight up particle board.
Yeah, it was shit.
And then on top of the particle board, we put, if I'm not mistaken, carpet for year one.
Carpet for padding, and then canvas over top.
Which was like a piece of canvas that we like found from somewhere.
No, it was real canvas.
It was real canvas. I don't know where we got it.
We went to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever.
We bought the canvas?
Yeah, we went to the local, supply-atorium and bought a 20 by 20 piece of real, like, painter's canvas.
So it's tires, on top of the tires, particle board, on top of the particle board for cushion, carpet that we got out of a dumpster, and then on top of the carpet, a piece of canvas that we bought.
We dug like 4 post holes, maybe 6 inches deep.
Yeah, like not deep at all.
Because it was middle of summer in Texas. Like, it's concrete. So we put like some 6-inch posts in the ground, and we strapped them back with our good buddy Dr. Grant, knowing his Boy Scout knots, so that they wouldn't fall in, because obviously they weren't deep enough. And so they were tied back with stakes. And then we ran our ropes, which were literally rope.
With real turnbuckles. Like real, like fucking shitty...
Turnbuckles.
Yeah, turnbuckles.
But with rope. So you tighten it, the rope stretches, tighten it, rope stretches. And
yeah.
Real wrestling rings use cable.
It was like as if someone were doing a wrestling ring in the 1920s.
This is backyard wrestling.
It was backyard fucking wrestling.
We set up a wrestling ring. We got some friends and family to do the wrestling.
Most of the time, we wouldn't even do that. Most of the time, we would tell people, hey, we need...
Jump in.
The ring is open. We need wrestlers.
Anybody get in.
And so year one...
If you don't like who's winning, bring a chair and change the match.
So there were 3 of them. Year one, I convinced a band. Well, no. How do we find the band even?
We're talking about year one. Year one was what we're talking about, because
we did a mud pit year one.
It progresses down the road. So year one was exactly what we've described. We convinced a band, Red 5, standing by for some reason.
Love them.
Some reason came out and played a show for us while we did the wrestling. The whole gimmick was to. I think we've played them on the show before.
I don't think we ever have. They're on Exploded Radio, but I don't think we ever.
Maybe it was Shizen for Brains or at least Dangerous Podcast or something. We've played them on the air.
So keep talking. I'll play one of their songs.
But we convinced them to play. The whole idea of rock and wrestling was that we're going to have a band playing live while people beat the shit out of each other in this
I still think it's genius.
Wrestling ring.
I still think it's a win-win.
And we called it Raw, Rock and Wrestling. And it worked. The first year was a bash. We maybe had 50, 100 people show up for,
and we had the mud pit for chicks to wrestle in.
Which did not work as planned.
We got maybe 1 or 2 people to wrestle in it.
I think it was mainly dudes.
Probably dudes. Didn't work. Like all we wanted was hot chicks.
Exactly.
In the mud pit.
And that didn't work.
Not at all.
But we had a mud pit.
And we had built these like breakaway
tables,
like a table for them to go through. Yeah. Breakaway. Like we built all these breakaway pieces, and then we had an actual ladder to be on the side of the ring so that people could climb up and go off.
Because the posts weren't steady, so we tied a ladder to the post so that way you do top rope shit.
If you wanted to do top rope shit, you had to go to the step ladder.
We had a guy we went to high school.
Fucking did a fucking backflip off of it.
CP. Well, I'm not gonna call you out, but CP, you know who you are. Fucking best memory of my high school is you just backflipping like
it was amazing.
Eddie Guerrero backflip fucking frog splash.
It was amazing.
Fucking
onto a dude
as a high schooler.
I got put through a table. CP went off and did a fucking backflip off the fucking ladder. There was one dude who ended up outside and almost landed on a stake.
Yeah, on the stakes that were tying back the post.
Almost
he fell backwards. Somebody did the thing like where you get up on the top rope, somebody ran up and smacked him and he fell backwards. Almost impaled himself on a stake.
And this is literally behind someone's house in the middle of nowhere in the country.
No liability insurance, nothing.
Nothing.
A bunch of 16-year-olds and about 100 kids.
And I really think it was about 100 people.
Partying.
And we weren't no alcohol.
Yeah, we didn't drink at the time.
It was just insanity. It was pure insanity.
But we had a band, and they played live the whole fucking show.
Yeah. Red 5 played the whole time. And the wrestling happened. And we had it pretty coordinated in the fact that we did have
parking,
like a main event. We did have 8 parking.
We had attendants to help facilitate parking.
Here, this is why I want to play like one quick Red 5 if it'll queue up. It might just start randomly here. So people will know what the band sounded like that was playing. But
they're punk.
Yeah, it was punk music. It might just, who knows when
early 2000s punk, late 90s punk.
It was insanity, man. Here we go. This is Red 5. It's called I Know Kung Fu. I'll play a second of it. And just imagine this on a trailer, a flatbed trailer.
Flatbed trailer, some not a PA, but just some amps.
And we love these guys. We became friends with these guys.
Oh, these guys did us a lot of favors getting us into music.
And the movies.
Actually, what's the guy's name? Dave?
Dave Kiesel.
Dave Kiesel went on to play in a famous band.
I don't remember the name for shit. Because he did like 3 bands, but then he ended up in like a
real
band in Austin.
Like a radio band.
But now I think he's like a financial advisor.
Well, whatever pays the bills.
Anyway.
But a huge influence to us
This is what they sounded like. And it was like just so exciting because even though like, okay, so that's pretty much basic punk music. But when we booked this band on a whim on MySpace, somehow got them to play for fucking free. They came out to the middle of nowhere, Iowa, Texas.
A bunch of 16-year-olds.
I'm sure when they're walking up to this thing, they're going, well, what the fuck did we just get into? But they rolled with it. So cool.
And we
and they were
friends.
Yelling like, who's going to get in the fucking mud pit? And who's going to do that?
Yeah, we became friends with them.
We became fucking
it was good
friends.
Now, to progress the story, because you did mention this is a 3-year story. Year 2... we fucked up.
My least favorite of them.
Year 2,
and it was probably the most organized.
We contracted with another guy who said he knew wrestling. He actually had a ring. He brought a real ring.
And a full card. It was a full wrestling card.
Yeah, he brought in the wrestlers. We had fucking spotlights. This was like a New Year's Eve. So middle of winter in Texas, spotlights at night. We had announcers. We had the color guy. We had
they had a script. They essentially had a whole plan for the whole night.
So this was out of our control, and it was probably the worst.
Well, I would say this. It was the most professional and the least fun.
Yeah, the least fun, the worst turnout as well.
Because what we had to do, our job was to...
there were no bands at this one either.
Be the MCs.
Because the wrestlers said no bands while we wrestle.
Yeah.
So we couldn't do bands.
So we were just MCing it. All we did was you and me, I believe, and maybe one or other two people.
No, you and I did color commentary. And then there was one guy who knew the wrestling terminology.
So he did the main.
And he did
we just bullshitted while he did the main commentary.
Exactly. And the people came out from our town.
Super professional, not that great.
People came out from our town. And we did it, like, every one of these events were outdoors. But this Raw 2...
And I would say the people that came did enjoy it.
It was downtown.
Yeah.
So anybody that was traveling through town
wasn't there
that day,
even chairs for this one?
No, we had seating. So this was, again...
The second one was the most professional.
Professional to the T.
There were chairs.
But it was not the style that we were portraying. Now, I think Raw 3, the third time we did it, was the pinnacle.
It was...
Because we had 2 stages, so that way music never stopped.
No,
one band would play.
Bands.
Yeah, one band would play while the other band took down.
So
and
Raw
the other band set up.
Was one band for about 2 to 3 hours and wrestling. Raw 3 was 5 fucking bands, 2 stages.
I don't know, what did we do? Like 8 hours, 6 hours?
It lasted. I'm pretty sure it started like 11 or 12 and lasted until like 8 at night.
I don't remember because we worked like they only gave us the venue like. The property. This is downtown Iowa, Texas.
Well, and I don't even know how we actually got the guy to allow us. It's where they would have the bonfire for like the yearly bonfire from the high school.
It is the most downtown piece of property in the city.
It's a field, but downtown. And it's where they do the bonfire. And
all cross traffic, anybody coming through that town saw us that day.
Has to, yeah.
Now, the thing is, because they only gave us a 24-hour window for what we were doing, we started at like 8 o'clock at night the night before. With all the materials, the ring, building the ring
overnight.
There was a beer couch that had infinite beer in it, and we just kept going. We kept working.
And there was somehow we could always convince like 15 people to help us do this bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think I ever really actually helped build anything.
No, you never touched a tool in your life. To this point, you still haven't touched a tool. I did this. Like, I'm the guy that builds shit. You're the idea guy. So you come up with the idea, I build it. So I spent... like
a night coordinating
with anybody I could get to help me put
Now,
this
we
summit
did
together.
there are some improvements we made. We got the real plywood instead of the particle board.
Yes.
We were still using tires, though.
Yes. Well, we doubled down.
Gym. I think we stole padding from a gym this time.
We had foam mats, and we made the ring sectional so that it could be put together and taken down for future use.
That's true.
So we
pause that because there's a story about that later.
We planned on future use.
Yeah. So we built a ring that could be dismantled and put back together. And then we cemented the post much deeper and
no cement.
I thought we put quickcrete around.
Did we?
Yes.
We might have concreted them.
We quickcreted them because I had
in
to
a
come
public
back
field
later on and get that taken care of, like months later. I had to figure out how to get
because we walked away and left them.
100%. We left the fucking wrestling ring behind us. And,
no, we took the ring. The ring went to your place afterwards.
We left the fucking post behind. 100%.
But we left the post and maybe the tires too.
So but the ring was much better. We had 5 bands. And the wrestling, we did not spend nearly as much time on as the first or second.
It was get in the ring and wrestle.
Everybody was freeform. Anybody that showed up, we were like, "You guys want to wrestle?"
Yeah, you don't like the way the match is going?
So
Jump in.
I'm pretty sure there was an 8-year-old that got punched in the face at some point.
No, yes, there was. I forgot about that. A guy named Kastuba. Calling you out, Kastuba, because I have to say your name. No one believes that that's your real name, but your name is Kastuba.
He was like 10 years old, and he's like, "I'm going to wrestle," and he gets in the ring with like a 15-year-old,
and got punched in the face.
Gave him a black eye.
One thing
that was amazing.
Now, I'm not going to incriminate anybody, but meat was acquired through somebody's actions.
We got food,
and then we had a friend of ours, cook. So while the 2 bands were playing,
we served food at this thing.
We also served all the free meat. There was no fixings. It's like, here's a piece of steak. Enjoy.
I completely forgot we were serving steaks at this fucking thing.
Yeah. So we acquired meat, probably around 50 pounds or so of meat, and had a guy cook it. No bread, no mustard, no ketchup, no fixings, no plates.
But if you wanted a steak.
You hungry? Open your hands. Here's a steak.
Forgot that we did that.
And then, so there's 2 bands, like I was trying to say. So while one band was playing, the other band was taking down, the new band was setting up.
Yeah, it was a perfect design.
And music never stopped.
It was a great design. And I'm going to try to real quick go over the bands because one of them is pivotal. Because it leads to what almost turned into the Great Riot of Iowa,
Burning
Texas.
Midget?
So we opened with the band Slap.
We played in the ring, though.
We played in the ring.
There was no wrestling.
We were the opening band in the ring. Then we had another more Red 5 style band. I don't remember their name, but they were a punk band. Then after the punk band, we had...
I think we went
Veritas.
No. Before Veritas, there was a black makeup, gore goth metal band.
Oh, there was one.
And they pulled 2 audience members. People drove from other cities to see this band play at this event.
Yeah.
And they showed up in full white makeup, fucking 10-pound baggy pants,
I don't
chains.
remember their name, but I do know who you're talking about.
I don't remember who it was.
Gore rock band.
Yeah,
almost Gore, but
They were definitely very Swedish death.
Yeah.
Gore metal.
So then we had Veritas, and then we had...
Veritas was a Tool style cover bandish thing. They had original songs.
But was Burning Midget our closer? They were the last ones?
Burning Midget closed.
Okay.
Burning Midget is a band that holds a place in my heart.
Full death metal, too. Full death metal.
But the reason they hold a place in my heart is they play the most accurate metal version of the Aggie War Hymn.
Oh,
ever.
Yeah. Fuck, I wish I had that right now. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing.
They live in my heart because of that.
No.
Because we did play, or we invited these style bands, that came along with the kind of people that listen to that kind of music. So there was a weird mix between Iola country town people who stopped by to see what the fuck was going on downtown with all the noise and racket, and death metal guys.
Yeah, and that's not a good mix.
No, redneck good old boys versus death metal guys.
At some point, and this did draw a crowd.
At some point, there were pipes pulled out.
Because it was half the football team was there. And then...
The good old boys.
So the whole football team is there.
The rednecks.
And then with the football team there's also all the metalheads.
The death metal people, yes.
And the metalheads are moshing to Bernie Midget.
And the Cowboys.
In like the friendly mosh way.
Yeah, the way mosh is supposed to work.
Some fucking football player
the
decides
Cowboys,
to, like,
the rednecks, the good old boys, they didn't understand what moshing was. So I will give them an error of ignorance.
No, but
they didn't know how mosh worked.
I feel like they were trying to fuck with the metalheads.
That's exactly what it was. But they didn't know what moshing was, so they didn't join in. So they got in there. They just started throwing punches and kicking and fucking trying to.
Well,
hurt
I remember
people.
there was one point where I literally saw a guy lower his shoulder like a tackle
and pick a guy up
and run into a guy and tackle a metalhead.
Yeah,
and it was like, okay, now we're going to have a riot.
And that's when
it got fucking crazy.
I showed up with a pipe. I went and got a pipe out of the back of the truck and said, "Y'all motherfuckers stop, or I'm going to start swinging this motherfucker around."
Is that what brought the fight to the...
Well, that Dr. Grant had a pipe, and maybe...
So wait, you guys showed up with pipes? That was our security? Our security showed up with pipes?
The three biggest guys in on the event showed up with pipes to break it up.
And, by the way...
It was like, we're going to start wrecking shop if y'all don't stop.
Wait, we should also mention, this was covered on the news.
Yes,
this particular event.
KBTX, local news, ABC, I think they are, showed up and did an event.
There was a guy in another town that was like 10 minutes away that knew we were doing it. He was like, hey, I want to cover you guys' amateur wrestling event. And he did it like he was going to be friendly and give us good promotion.
No, it was a complete scam job, and he told the...
He found the one turnbuckle without like a
pad on it.
Without a pad on it, with a hook sticking out, and they zoomed in on that, and they were like, dangerous high school children.
High school children are now killing each other in the backyard.
In the wrestling ring.
It was fucking ridiculous, dude.
It was fucking insane, dude. And it was on the news, and I remember watching it.
Local children tried to kill each other. Tonight at 5 on Local 502 XM.
That's exactly what it was, though. And this son of a bitch told us, though, hey, dude, I want to come to your event and check it out. And
I'll promote it. I'll get some people out. And we're like, sure.
And all he did was make us look like out of control children.
Well, that's what we were. Because after the math...
True. You did just tell a story how our security was three guys with pipes.
The three biggest guys that set it up showed up with pipes to break up the fight.
Needless to say,
it was out of control.
Insanity.
And we pirated electricity from the local...
a church.
No, from the local laundromat.
Was it the laundromat?
It's gone now. The laundromat's not there anymore.
And not only did we pirate the electricity,
we ran it across the highway.
Ran it across a highway.
And people were just running it over. We didn't give a shit. We didn't protect it. We ran an extension cord across the highway.
We ran one extension cord
to power the entire band.
To power two bands.
Yeah.
And it was just like nothing but surge protectors and the surge protectors and the extension cords and the extension cords.
We got in trouble
all
for that.
Going to a laundromat.
They shut us down by the end of the day for doing that.
People did not like. I think the constable did not like the idea of an electric
power cord
in the road.
Well, and
the highway.
And the laundry people came across and said no. So I think by the end of the day, that's probably why we shut down, is because the bands got shut down.
I thought maybe when the laundry people shut it down, though, then we moved to the church's power.
Maybe we got some more extension cords and ran it the extra 500 yards.
Because I feel like the thing just...
I think about 4 o'clock.
At some point.
About 4 o'clock, we ended. But again, this is running on fucking 40 hours.
And it didn't even end. It petered out.
Yeah, it just kind of died on its own. The event itself got sleepy and stopped.